Ladies and gentlemen, this is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. I'm really excited. I have another author, I should say fellow author. As y'all know, I did recently release a book, but I got another author, get this, 41 books total, okay? So the guests that I have on the show, the books focus on helping children's souls shine, and a candid memoir for adults about overcoming food addictions joyfully and spiritually. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the show, Bracha Goetz. Bracha, how are you doing today?
Wonderful. Really happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's hop right into it. Tell me about yourself, what got you started, with the books. Just give the audience your story here.
Okay, I tried to write the books I wished I had as a child. I try to help children learn skills early on so that they can have joyful lives. That's really my purpose. For their souls to shine, we need a certain kind of nourishment. We need physical nourishment every day and spiritual nourishment in order to really be able to shine in life. So that's what I'm doing. So you don't have to play catch up like the rest of us, like we learn later on in life.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm, trying to
Awesome.
give children early.
Love it,
Yeah.
love it. And what got you motivated or inspired? I mean, I know you didn't wake up one day and was like, I'm gonna write 41 books to help children. What got you started in even just wanting to write these books?
Let's see. There was something missing from my life. I had a really sweet childhood, and even still something was missing and I didn't know what it was. So, I went to Harvard as an undergraduate. Why did I get there? Because I was searching so much for wisdom. I started studying really hard because I just wanted to find out the purpose to life. So I was searching everywhere. And eventually I got into Harvard.
Thanks.
And while I was there, I became like the expert on eating disordered behavior and food addictions. Why? Because I was suffering myself. And I was getting sicker and sicker as I was there and becoming more and more of an expert. So then I went on, after I graduated from Harvard, I went to medical school. And in my first year of medical school, I was suffering terribly. And addiction is like being in a prison.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. So my life was getting narrower and narrower, even though it looked successful on the outside. Nobody knows. When you have an addiction, it's all in secret and no one knows how you're suffering. So basically, the summer between my first and second year of medical school, I had a 6-week break. I went to Israel.
Oh, nice.
And I discovered my roots, my heritage, which really had been kind of thrown away. So from that, I began to learn about the purpose of life, and I immersed myself in the spiritual nourishment that I had been lacking. And I couldn't figure out why the addictions just slowly went away. Why? What did one thing have to do with the other? Until I put the pieces together and I realized if we fill the emptiness within, when the emptier we feel, the more we try to fill it with externalities, but it's really an inner emptiness, and we need to fill that with spiritual nourishment in order to really not have that constant hunger. Because really, like things like binge eating, it has a lot to do with feeling out of control in life. Like what's my purpose for being here? What do I have any reason? Is there anything in control here? Feeling out of control. So when you begin to understand the purpose to life is really for us to experience gratitude here, then you can fill up on gratitude. And when you do that, you're never running on empty anymore. So then we overeat because we want there to be lasting pleasure.
Yeah.
And this is a way to experience lasting pleasure through mindful gratitude.
Love that. Love that. And then with the books, I mean, I know you talked about, with the food addiction, binge eating. How are these books that you've seen? I mean, 41 books later, obviously there is success to it. But from what you've come across, talking to people, testimonials, how have your books helped people in the past and even now?
Yes. There's some of my books. There's a book about prevention of abuse.
Okay.
Because again, we have to help children have that sense of control in life. The more they know about these things, protecting our bodies and keeping them healthy is part of letting our souls be able to shine. It's in almost 150,000 homes now, my books about abuse, because it's so important. If we don't, what happens is we put on layers of protection. If a child has been abused or they've been through terrible trauma or neglect, it's like this. It's like you have a soul that's shining all the time, but we put on layers, and then you can't see the soul shining,
Yeah.
but it's still shining.
No
So
matter what.
exactly. So we have to nourish those souls so they can shine and melt away all those levels of blockage. And also, sometimes you need therapeutic intervention as well, support to help you remove those layers so you can fully shine. So yeah, the books are really helpful. Like my newest book is Let's Stay Healthy. Also, explaining why is it important to eat healthy foods. Why is it important to exercise? Like our bodies were designed to move. Why is sleep important? Like children don't know this. Go to bed, but why? Like
Right.
it
I don't want to
really
go to
gives them
bed. Why should I have to
exactly.
go to bed? Yeah.
And nobody wants to, but how do you feel? Do an experiment on yourself. The next day, how do you feel when you get enough sleep? Energy, happiness. Like I love my background's in public health, so I love explaining why to children. And that's what I'm doing in all these books, all different ways to be joyful. Yeah.
Love that. And speaking of joyful, it actually, because as you were talking, was thinking of my next question. What are some of your top tips for like helping people to overcome, overeating joyfully?
Yes. It's like, here's one really great one. Chewing slowly. This is so interesting. When you do it,
Yes.
what?
My wife tells me all the time, you would think I have not eaten in a week the way that I eat. And she's like, you got to chew your food slowly. You got to slow down eating. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. But yeah, go ahead. I probably, you know how
You,
it's like, you got to hear it from a stranger first for it to really process and get in your throat.
well, you have a wonderful wife. I'm so happy. Really, I'm so excited. I just learned this recently.
Yes.
When you do it, it is so boring at first to chew slowly. It's like, yeah, and but when you do it, you start to actually taste what's in your mouth. You begin to savor the experience. And it's a metaphor for life. We're always ready to move on to the next thing. And then we're not enjoying what we have right then. So chewing slowly gets you to practice being in the moment, being grateful for what you have right now. It's amazing. If you're chewing and you don't prepare the next spoonful or forkful until you've chewed and swallowed what you have, the meal lasts longer, the pleasure lasts longer, and it affects your whole life. It creates brain pathways that are telling you, yes, enjoy what you have. You just experience it. It's really life-changing. It really is. So
Wow.
that's one. Number two,
Yes.
um, ask yourself this question, which I do. Sometimes I feel like overeating. And I say, is it your body that's hungry or your soul? And
Hmm.
you know the answer. You're not physically hungry after you've had a good meal. You are just eating because you want the pleasure to keep lasting. We just keep stuffing our face. So we say, identify what brings you more pleasure than eating? What other things could you do? And once you get a hang of that, you realize stepping outside, being in nature, turning on music, stretching, texting someone what you appreciate about them. Suddenly, you don't feel like overeating anymore. I was on a show and the person, he said there was a knock on his door. He was like, he had 2 slices of pizza and he was about to devour the whole box of pizza. Someone knocks on his door. He goes and helps his neighbor. He comes back and he goes, I don't need this. Puts the rest in the fridge.
Wow.
He filled his hunger. It wasn't a physical hunger. It's a hunger to have pleasure in life, which we get from natural physical pleasures, natural things, being in nature, music, dancing. We get it from love, focusing on the virtues of another. It's all within our own power. It's not love depending, it's feeling lonely makes us overeat, but feeling gratitude for the people already in our life, that fills us up.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
was gonna say it's such a good point because especially when you have like that great day, things are going great for you. You're making back-to-back calls. People are like, "Yeah, I want to get your business, or I want to place an order or a product," and you're just going, going, going. And you hear those people that say like, "Oh man, I completely forgot to eat today," but they're not hungry. Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm the same way where I'll be going through my day, lunchtime comes and I'm either stuck on a call or I need to get something else done. And what happens is that, you get towards the end of the day and it's like, wait, why am I hungry? Like now your stomach is the one saying like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? So that's so key. So, I mean, moving forward, like that's, I actually want to put that tip, over the first one. It's like, hey, you know, after your 2 slices of pizza or after even going halfway through your meal, stop. And it's like, you're already full. Now see, like, are you physically hungry or is there something in your soul that you need to fill? And something as simple as a text message. Hey, to your mom, dad, brother, sister. Hey, I just want to reach out and tell you I love you. Like that's
Beautiful.
it. That's it. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. Bracha, there's 40, and my apologies, there's actually 42 books that you've done. Where can folks go online to find you on social media or a website that they could look further into the books?
Thank you so much. My children created this amazing website,
Love
www.getzbookshop.com. Getz is spelled a funny way, Goetz. And you could find everything. You could also find the pleasure that ladder there. You can download a copy of it, like a free copy, how to bring more pleasure into your life. There's so many ways. There's an abundance of ways. So you don't have to just be stuck on overeating.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just the free resource right there. I mean, folks, if you haven't already, there's the gem of the day. If we haven't already gone over the 2 free tips, in addition to the website, go to the website, get that free resource. And then, Bracha, I want to ask, and I typically always ask folks who come on the show, what wisdom or pearls of advice that you could give to somebody, who's listening now or maybe in the future, to help them keep going or even overcome that, maybe food addiction that they may have.
Exactly. These 5 steps are so valuable. Like, identify what brings you more pleasure than eating, because to overcome a bad habit, you need more pleasure, not less. It's not about restricting. It's about pouring the joy into your life by adding more gratitude. That is really the way to have a joyful life and overcome all types of addictions.
Love that. Love that. And Bracha, before I let you go, can you give us that website one more time for us?
My pleasure. Yeah, it's the getzbookshop.com. Thank you.
Definitely. Well, Bracha, thank you again. Looking forward to having you come back on the show just to do a follow-up with you, but really appreciate the time you took to come on the show and talk about not even only your journey, but how you're pretty much helping and changing not only lives, but generationally as well.
Thank you so much. You're a wonderful host. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the RNG Radio Show. Be sure to like and subscribe for more episodes and future content. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at danielumstead.com. Stay blessed, my fellow millionaires.